Prepare now. We have an Ethereum ETF coming soon. Welcome back to the Crypto Astro Paradise. If you're new here, I do technical analysis and I do something eccentric. I run an astrology birth chart for Ethereum and see if the astrology patterns correlate with the TA. None of this content is financial or investment advice. This content is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only. Well, we are still in major fear with Bitcoin, and that tends to spill over into all the altcoins. And as you can see, we've gotten a massive dump with Ethereum on the weekly here. And if we look at the daily, we have dumped quite a bit here, all the way from when we were at 3,500, 20% dump recently. We had a nice July 4th dump here. My eyes were on the crypto charts most of the day. And so we got a little bit of a rebound here, but nothing to get too excited about because we are potentially heading back down. If we look at the 4 hour, we zoom out here. I took a 50% level here. We're hitting that 50% level. We need to bounce off that quick and we need to head back up like this. If we don't do that, if we're heading down here, that's not looking good. We could see more downside. So be keeping my eyes very, very close on that. And, another thing to note is these other major 50% levels. We have the 50% level from the previous all-time high all the way down to the bottom, and that's up to this level, 2,496. That's a major level of support. Wait, let me zoom out a little bit. Sorry, from the all-time high was major support at 2,884. And we have already dipped below that. We definitely want to hold that level here. That's major 50% level. If we cut through that, the next level is probably around 2,500. And we do not want to be going below that. That would be very surprising, and that could be very bearish. If we do, we just want to see a wick. We do not want to have any sort of a daily, especially like a weekly close below that level. If we could see that something like this, but we want to rebound very quickly. That's pretty surprising. Wow, we hit this 50% level. So we definitely, I'll take a look at the astrology in a moment to see what kinds of action we could see. Are we going to head down or are we going to head back up? That's why I do what most people don't do. I look at the astrology, and so far, guys, it's been very, very, very accurate. Take a look at all my previous videos where I prove previous predictions, and I'm still around 90% accurate. All right, guys. So astrology is not hocus pocus. There's some very noticeable correlations here. It's actually incredible. So if we take a look at this red line, the 200-day moving average, we are below that right now. We want to get above that as soon as possible. Let's look historically when we've gone below that level. Typically in a bear market. Oh shoot, that's the weekly. Let me go back to the daily 200-day. So yeah, typically in a bear market, we go below that. In a bull market, we just, we dipped below it in March of 2023. We also dipped below for a while in August through October. And then once we jumped through that, we went off on a very nice run. So we can stay below that for months even in a bull market. Let's see the last run here. Yeah, so this is Ethereum. We went below it in COVID. And then we dipped below it very quickly in July 2021 bull market, but we did not stay below it for months. So typically in a bull market, we mostly stay above it. We just dipped below it, so we want to get out of the woods quickly. So could the Ethereum ETF be the catalyst that we need to blast through the 200-day moving average? Certainly possible. And it could be coming up very soon. I don't think anybody knows exactly when it's going to get released. You know, there's lots of rumors there's like rumors about July 8th, rumors about July 15th. But then some people are saying, you know, probably more realistically towards the end of July, maybe in August. We could take a look at the astrology, see what the astrology is saying. What do you guys think about that? We are getting some dumps here in the markets, guys. Let's take a look at this. Having a slow weekend here. Is this going to be... Oh, this is Bitcoin here. We dumped... Let me zoom in. So today we're dumping. We want to bounce off of this 50% level. Ethereum, you know, dumping today. We want to bounce off of that very short-term 50% level here. 2,946. We want to bounce off of that and head back up. This is what we want to see. And we want to stair step back up like that. Otherwise, probably more downside, guys. Do you have your stop losses set? I'm making sure I do. But with that being said, I don't want to get stopped out right before we head up for the Ethereum ETF. So very tricky time right now. Let's take a look at Ethereum versus Bitcoin. This chart, it's showing some strength. I mean, it looks like it's wanting to get... I mean, take a look at this long-term trend line here. Ever since August 2022, look at this trend line, Ethereum versus Bitcoin. It's still trying to get out of here. We've been under this trend line for so long. So we want to see a bounce off of the trend line, and then we could head back up. So we could be seeing this with the Ethereum ETF. We could see Ethereum's finally start to break out versus Bitcoin. It's been a long time, guys. Been a long, drawn-out cycle. It seems like a lot of people aren't even, like, I don't know, thinking about Ethereum that much. So could be, I'm buying some. But not financial advice. You do what you want to do with your own money. This is Ethereum versus Solana, since Solana has been such a strong altcoin. Still looking weak. So what did we see last bull run? You know, we did see Ethereum break out. Well, that was... I mean, last bull run, Ethereum broke out first, and then Solana just kind of took the show. That's kind of what's happened here. Ethereum was outperforming Solana 2022 and 2023, but then Solana just took the show ever since September 2023. So is Ethereum going to take back the momentum against Solana? Could this happen? I don't know, guys. What do you think? What do you think is going to outperform, Ethereum or Solana? Could be Ethereum short term, but we're not seeing any signs so far. Okay, and levels of support. So we've already gotten this level of support, this green line here. Let me zoom in a bit more here. These 50% levels are critical levels of support. So we've already bounced off of this level 2,874. Are we going? Is that going to hold? I'm not sure. The jury's out on that right now. The next level of support could be. We could get. I mean, it could go all the way down this macro 50% level. Let's see. Yeah, I mean that's the next 50%. Let me just double check that one and then that one. Okay, we could potentially get resistance at this level, 2578. So maybe approximately 2500. I think that's a major support. And then even bigger support is, 2492. So around that 2,500 level, we definitely want to see some major support there. Yeah, because if we go through that, that's really not good. If we saw something like this, like bull run could be over. Okay, so we definitely want to hold this level 2,500. All right, so for me, I'd probably put my stop loss below that a little bit. But we'll have to talk about that when the day comes, if the day comes. But for now, I mean, we're still holding up, but not looking strong. We want to see a bounce heading into tomorrow or in the next 24 hours, for sure. Okay. And so one of my colleagues is talking about the Ethereum ETF. He says the Ethereum ETF talk is heating up and there's high likelihood it could be the last siren to sucker in new investors before the economy goes into a recession. It could probably be a very short recession, I believe he's referring to. Smart money front runs, aka buys early, news like this. And judging from how Ethereum has performed, he's not going to FOMO in at the point of the Ethereum ETF launch. It most likely won't be like the Bitcoin ETF launch. The appetite for Ethereum is nowhere near as high as Bitcoin for traditional investors. So I think he's saying, traditional investors understand the big dog Bitcoin as digital gold. But a lot of, kind of old school traditional investors have a hard time understanding Ethereum. What it does, they have a hard time understanding its decentralized finance. Maybe they just don't see the utility in it, don't see the value. It's possible. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. But yeah, I'm seeing many sources saying that this Ethereum ETF launch is probably not going to be as, as explosive of an event as the Bitcoin ETF launch. With that being said, if we look at what happened with the Bitcoin ETF launch, I mean, it was at first, it was right around here. That's when the market peaked, literally. And then we saw a big dump. 21% dump we saw after the Ethereum, the Bitcoin ETF launch. But then we went off on a mega run. So it's very interesting that what we're seeing with Ethereum right now is not really showing similar price action. We've kind of fallen off a cliff already. So could we mainly just have further upside to go? I mean, it's kind of tricky. So what I would like to see is if we bounce off of this level and we start getting into a much more bullish position, maybe that's when the Ethereum ETF releases and then maybe falls off after that before we head back up again. Certainly possible. Yeah, I mean, maybe that's my best guess at this point, but there's a lot of confusion in the market, guys. We'll talk about the astrology. Neptune is retrograde. Neptune Neptune always brings confusion in the markets, especially Neptune retrograde. We're only 5 days into Neptune retrograde. Markets don't like confusion. We're seeing a massive fall off in crypto markets right now. Macro's holding up fairly well, but we could see also, at some point in the next few months, a macro dump. We certainly could see that. Definitely potentially counting on that even. Okay, let's look at some of the astrology, shall we? So yeah, a lot of you probably aren't going to understand this. No worries, I will tell you what's going on here. But first off, let's simplify this. Let's look at the planets where they are in the sky right now. Like I said, I'm talking about Neptune retrograde right here. We're also getting Saturn retrograde at the same time. This has literally potentially caused a big fall off in the crypto markets. As you know, crypto markets are really how do you say it? The canary in the coal mine. So we've already seen crypto markets fall off. Could that be a preview into what's to come for the macro? Perhaps the macro is going to dump at some point here. Then we're going to have Mars coming up to conjunct Uranus and Algol, and this could potentially bring explosive, unpredictable events on the world stage that could easily affect the crypto markets and bring a lot of volatility, a lot of unpredictability. So that's really, really critical and important to be aware of. Now, when I look at the Ethereum astrology, Ethereum's in the middle circle here, where the planets are in the sky right now physically, from the point of view from the Earth, is in the outside circle here. So one thing that's really important here is we're going to be getting a very positive aspect very soon. Uranus trining the Ethereum moon here. So imagine a line from here to here, and that's very positive. And we're going to be getting that. Let me find the exact. Looks like around like July 13th. So coming up very soon. It might not be super. I mean, that's pretty good. We could see an Ethereum ETF approval around July 13th. I'd say give or take a week to 2 weeks. All right. I'm not saying it's going to be extremely like right on the day. It certainly could happen. That would be pretty amazing. Actually, that could happen, because right after the 13th, I could see this happening realistically. We then have this nasty Mars conjuncting Uranus, and then we could see a big dump in the markets right after that. So that's kind of tends to see, that's kind of how markets go. You know, it's like buy the rumor, sell the news. Is this going to be a sell the news event? Are we going to start getting more pumps with Ethereum? Definitely not guaranteeing that, but it could be possible. And then, could it get approved around July 13th or July 15th? But then we also get crazy volatility, and we could see a dump in the markets with this really nasty Uranus conjunct Mars, conjunct Algol, the demonic star here. Yeah, I mean, it's not looking super great. So we could definitely see a sizable dump in July around these times. Yeah, so that's the main transit, and you can see it here from a different way. That's sort of, I'm talking about this Uranus trining the Ethereum moon, July 13th right there. And we did get this negative hit that caused a major dump. Jupiter square the Ethereum Neptune on the 5th. Yep, right around the time. I mean, it was in effect from July 1st through the July 10th. And we've already seen massive dumps with Ethereum already. That was on point. We also got another negative hit on July 4th. Sun opposite Uranus. Sun opposite the Ethereum Pluto. We get another positive August 2nd, but that's pretty far out. That's another possible date. Could we get, another possible Ethereum ETF approval is August 2nd. That'd be interesting. So could it be July 13th? Or could it be, it could be around that date, July 14th, July 15th, or give or take a week. This transit is already in effect ever since July 1st, and it stays in effect all the way through August. So I'd say, yeah, anywhere from now to August 25th, we could see that Ethereum ETF approval. All right. So in terms of predictions, I don't really want to make any major predictions here. It's not super clear, but yeah, that's the main thing I would say. Anything from now to August 25th, we could easily see that Ethereum approval. We're going to see likely continued volatility in July, heading into August as well, continued volatility. We are seeing a dump in the DXY, the strength of the dollar compared to other currencies, and that's pretty positive, actually. It is starting to see a little bit of strength today, but we have dumped below this level that I've been talking about through all my videos. Let me zoom out a little bit. This level right here, 105.27, around there. The DXY has fallen below that, which is good, but we need to keep below that, and I'm not guaranteeing that's going to happen. We're already seeing a little bit of strength here. If we just bounce up like this, that's going to be negative for crypto. more downside for crypto. But if we continue to fall off, that will be very positive for crypto. So I'll keep my eyes on that in the coming days and weeks. What questions do you guys have in the comments? Additionally, if you guys would like to get monthly group calls with me live, where you can ask me all your questions, I do have a private Crypto Astro Mastermind. You can get access to that by going to my YouTube channel, clicking the link to the Crypto Astro Mastermind, signing up. It's only one payment and you get lifetime access. All right, so a ton of value there. All right, one comment. Lavisa says, dump the news. All right, so I think you're saying to sell the news event. Yeah, it certainly could be, especially with all of the volatility that I see coming up in July and August as well. So that's what I got for you guys today. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next video.